morning, it's Friday. I have employees that'll post on our Slack channel, thank God it's Friday. Or on Wednesday, it's hump day, closer to Friday. I don't say much because I don't want to isolate them and make them feel bad. But in the back of my mind, I think, man, what a horrible way to live. Unless like you're going on a vacation and you're pumped about it. But like every day you're excited to look forward to Friday. It's like the day ends in Y, man. It's another day to wake up fired up and grateful. Like if you have your benchmark of gratitude, I woke up, my eyes opened, still here. Wow, let's roll. That's a good place to start from. But anyways, this is about tasking. Multitasking, I believe, is the biggest myth and biggest detriment to actual production. And I used to say I'm a good multitasker. And in the restaurant world, when I worked for my dad and ran operations there, and GM and all that, and worked my way up, and when I opened my own franchises, or Kelly and I did, there is a lot of multitasking you have to do, but ultimately it's the most efficient thing is single task focus. So I really heavily focus on single task focus. I lock in on something. I'm like a dog on a bone. I don't give up. It's like, "Argh!" And I lock in because it's so efficient. I actually have a timer on my desk, a productivity timer, where when I'm going to lock in and do single task orientation, boom, I put that on, and I don't let anything bother me unless it's an emergency. So if one of my business partner calls me, I'll answer. If Kelly needs me, or one of the kids, pretty much it. Everything else I ignore. And single task focusing is so powerful. So the examples of that today. Last night, I stayed in the office till 10:30 last night. Got there about 9:30, 9:45 in the morning. The office is right down the road here from my house, just left the house. Kelly and I bought a condo where my office is out of, Ethan's office is out of, and he lives there now. We used to have a big office here, 12,000 square foot office. We wound that all down and everybody's remote. And I can't do the work from home thing. I need to unplug and get somewhere. So a couple miles down the road, bought a condo, and that's where I lock in. So last night I stayed till 10:30. I didn't have to, right? Here's why I did. We did a compliance audit. And the compliance audit, we're in 46 states. And we some things came up. We're like, we need to analyze some things from a legal perspective and whatnot. And we did a compliance audit on a few things and identified a handful of things I need to focus on. And I'm like, that's a high priority. So I stayed single task focused and locked in until 10:30 and got it done. And just laser focused. Got home, but the problem was, while I was there, I was drinking a Sambazon energy drink. I usually have one a day just because I love them, not because I need them. I'm full of energy. Ever since living in Cardiff, or California, we used to go to Cardiff by the sea. We were in Carlsbad, and we always go to the Sambazon Acai Cafe there. So good. So I got kind of like, I won't say hooked on those, but I love those. So it's just like my little treat, right? So anyways, last night I'm like, man, I need my brain to wire up a little bit because it's a long day. So I was sipping on one. So of course, when I get home, I'm laying in bed staring at the back of my eyeballs or eyelids all night. Finally, I fell asleep. Got about 3 hours of sleep. Woke up this morning early because Ethan had to get picked up. He was dropping his truck off. And I had to get him back to the condo to get fixed. It was getting fixed. There it is. And drop him back to the condo so he can get his work day set. The sneeze. Well, anyways, after that, I'm like, man, it's leg day. I could have easily skipped. Every part of me was like, you know what? You're in shape, dude. Just skip. 3 hours of sleep. But I'm like, nope. Went to the gym and felt so good going heavy on legs. But the point on this is you need to identify single task commitments and execute single task commitment. So I woke up, my single task commitment was get in the Word. Done. Next, Ethan. Done. Next, gym. Done. Next, Kelly and I had time together. We usually connect before I go to work. And when you single task focus, you'll see that you're able to get so much more done in such a smaller period of time when you remove the distractions, especially this dumb phone. Employees that are now remote, I know for a fact they're totally distracted. They're scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. They're on Snapchat. They're doing things that are just, the ones that aren't are the ones that are crushing it. The ones that don't, are not crushing it. That's what they're doing. They're not, you can just see it in their metrics, right? When you learn to compartmentalize and single task focus and lock in on a single task, you are going to move the needle in productivity and results in a way that previously you were unfamiliar with. And sometimes it takes sacrifice, right? So like last night, I had to sacrifice. I didn't need to stay up and do it. But when something's a high priority to me, I usually execute, unless for some reason I couldn't stay, but I could. There was nothing that I couldn't stay for. I just said, Kelly, hey, I'll be here late tonight. And that's very rare because I like to come home. But the single task focus, when you can lock in and single task focus, you're going to see productivity. And then you have to understand there's going to be moments of sacrifice, right? Like when you make these commitments, like for example, the gym this morning, right? I did not want to go, but I'm like, why am I going to break that promise to myself because I'm tired? Woe is me, right? Like excuses are the nails that build a house of failure. So I went to the gym and I'm so thankful I did. It felt so good going heavy. And I have so much energy now. And I pump going, and brain is on fire. Clarity is there, and I did it. I executed a single task focus. That's why when I'm at the gym, I have my wired earbuds now on. I'm not trying to get rid of the AirPods, and I don't talk to people. Once in a while, there's a couple guys I'll chit chat with real quick. Usually on business or something, how God's working in their life or whatever. It's short because they know me, and I am not a talker. I am there to get one thing done, and that's to blast and annihilate the muscle group I'm working on. That's the only reason why I'm there. It's not my social hour. I have things I want to do, right? So doing these things and locking in and learning to have the discipline of removal is huge. What do I mean by removal? A lot of people will do things and have all these external stimuluses around them that actually create a worse or a negative, or the impact is not as great in their activity or action, and it's taking longer and it's not as good. So at my desk, I've got a productivity timer. And when I lock in, I'm like, okay, next 30 minutes I'm doing this. I set that timer. I won't let anybody else interrupt me unless it's an emergency. So if my phone goes on do not disturb, it's Kelly, my 3 kids, Todd and Skylar, my business partners, that can get through to me. That's it. Nobody else. One of those rings, I'll text sometimes, hey, middle of something is important, otherwise I'll answer. And I can't tell you how powerful it is doing this. And it brings me back to the book by Gary Keller. I've read it a couple times. It's a great book. It's called The One Thing, or just One Thing. One Thing, yeah. By Gary Keller, founder of Keller Williams. And he talks about identifying and building out your highest priority action items, and then identifying the one thing. What's the one thing, if I execute well, makes everything else either unimportant or unnecessary, right? And when you start to create your day like that and chunk out your days, and Ed Milet talks about this, he's like, I got 3 days in every day. 6 hours in the morning, 6 hours in the middle, and 6 hours in the evenings, and he chunks out where his family time is, where his locked in business time is, where this time is, that time is. Your day becomes multiplied so much greater than absolutely the masses around you. It just is truth. And this was me in the restaurant world working for my dad. I would be so hyper focused on getting things done, boom, 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 that I'd have so much extra free time to then take the business to a next level, or work with the people and develop them and train them and do everything else. Same thing in our business now, right? Is the 3 of us are business partners, and we have other leadership, sales managers, administrative, that kind of stuff. My role right now, primarily, is like a chief strategy officer, if you will. I am focusing on high level commitment, relationships, connections, partnerships, technology integrations, different things that move the needle from a strategy perspective. Of course, we talk about these things, but I end up deploying a lot of the execution. Todd's role is primarily like a chief sales officer. He is the person that's in charge of the sales teams. Managers report to him, but he's in the trenches. We all kind of work with them, but that's his center area of focus. And then Skylar is the operations officer, and he's dialing in culture and operational stuff, and has meetings weekly or multiple times a week with our administrative team. And we do single task focuses, right? And by doing that, the multiplier on single task focusing, you get more done in less time, you get a better result, and then you actually have more time freedom to add additional things that you may want to prioritize in any vertical of life. So if you're a multitasker, if you're a procrastinator, if you're somebody who gets distracted, what do you need to remove? On our sales floor, when we were in office, we did not allow phones on the desk. Not because we want to micromanage, because we know human weakness. Phones are in the drawer. All of your family members know your direct line. They can call you if there's an emergency. You're on break, you leave our floor, you go out in the break room, whatever, hang out in our rec room. We had ping pong tables and that stuff. Cool, do whatever you want. Phones are in the drawer. That alone created hyper-focused execution with our team, and the results spoke for themselves. Unfortunately, people are at home now, lack discipline, don't know how to compartmentalize, don't know how to eliminate distractions, and quite honestly, many of them are going to stay in that pattern. And it is what it is. It doesn't really hurt us as much. It hurts them more than us. We'll hire more people, and the ones that are the best will make more money, and the ones that want to stay at $6 grand or $7 grand a month, they will. Someone wants to make 20, they can, you know? Single task focus, compartmentalize, prioritize, execute, remove the distractions, and you're gonna build bigger, better, faster, more solid. Crush the day.